This is Mr. Mark, and I created this calculator as a quick reference for calculating the profit you will receive when you sell an item on eBay. The first section of this calculator is the original cost of the item. To determine the original cost, we start with the basic price of the item, which in this case is $60, for instance. And let's say you paid $5 tax, and let's say you paid $10 shipping. As you can see, it adds the total at the bottom. I'm going to add, I'll add $10 handling, $85, and then I'll add 15 other costs for a total of $100, just as an example. The first thing it does is it determines the break-even price, which is the price at which you will receive a profit of zero. No profit, right? This is your break-even. And for this section, we'll first start with the selling price. So for instance, let's say we're selling this item for $120. You will type 120, and then you will determine whether the shipping is being paid by the buyer or the seller. Let's say that the buyer is going to pay $5 shipping. Then the total payment is calculated as $125. This is the total payment that the buyer is paying. Why this is important is because this total payment determines the fees that eBay will charge and that PayPal will charge. The listing fee. The listing fee should be considered if you are selling an item and listing an item one time. However, if you're paying one listing fee and selling an item multiple times, you may not consider the listing fee. The listing fee by default is 0. We then move on to the PayPal fee. The PayPal fee is 2.9% of the buyer's total payment plus 30 cents. As you can see, I will quickly refer to this breakdown of the fees where you can see that PayPal charges 2.9% plus 30 cents for eBay payments. And that is calculated as $3.93. The final value fee by default is normally 10%, and the maximum, meaning the most you may be charged for the final value fee in most categories, is $750. So eBay charges 10% of the sale with up to $750 as a maximum in the standard category. So then your final value fee is calculated as 10% of the buyer's total payment, which is $12.50. And from there, the total fees are calculated by adding these three fees together, and the total fees are $16.43. However, before I continue, let me mention that if you are selling in one of these special categories, the final value fee may be different. For instance, books, DVDs, and music, and movies, except records category, is 12% for the final value fee, and it has a maximum fee of $750 as well. If you're selling select business industrial categories, you have 2% with a maximum fee of $300. Musical instruments and gear, 3.5%. is your final value fee, maximum fee of $350. Okay, so if you're selling one of those other categories, you can actually change these numbers. Now for the profit, the total profit, as you can see, as described below, is the buyer's payment, the total payment received from the buyer, minus the expenses, which is, for one, the total cost of obtaining the item, the shipping that you, the seller, pay to ship the item to the buyer, which in this case is 0. And then we also subtract, of course, the total fees. The PayPal fee comes out immediately. The final value fee you will pay at the end of the month. But all of these fees are considered to be expenses. So from there, we calculate your total profit. And that is how this calculator works. I will just quickly demonstrate to you that if the shipping was paid by the seller, this would change things. If I subtract the shipping paid by buyer, this will change my break-even because it changes the buyer's total payment. If the buyer's total payment is less, which is now $120, the fees change. The fees are going to be less, right? The smaller the payment, the smaller the fees. The larger the payment, the larger the fees. So now the fees are smaller. Okay. However, if you are paying for shipping, let's say you're paying $5 shipping, this will reduce your profit because whatever profit you receive, we are subtracting the shipping because shipping is a cost. So this tells us if I charge $120, I pay $5 shipping, I'm actually losing money. I have negative 78 cents. I'm actually losing 78 cents. Therefore, I know I need to charge a higher price. And that is where the break even comes in so handy. This break even is telling you the minimum price where you will pay, where you will receive zero profit. Again, if I type 120.90 for my break even price, you will see that my profit is exactly zero after fees and expenses, other expenses. So I need to charge more than this price in order to receive a profit. So I might want to, for instance, charge $125 as my price and receive $3.57 profit. Also, I'd like to show you that it is possible to change the final value fee. For instance, I could change this to 3.5% if I'm selling, musical instruments. And just to look at the reference, the maximum is $350. So I will place $350, the maximum fee. So as you can see, 3.5% of this gives me a different final value fee of $4.38. Right? It's a much lower final value fee, so there's less money coming out of my payment, so I make more profit. I'd also like to show you that when your final value fee tries to go past the maximum, all right, that they cannot charge you more than this maximum for the final value fee. So for instance, if I'm going to sell an item for let's say $4,000, right, 10% or 3.5% of 4,000 rather, okay, gives me a final value fee of $140. Okay, 3.5% of this total payment. However, what if I'm selling it for, I'll try something much larger, let's say $8,000. If I'm selling an item for $8,000, okay, final value fee is $280. Well, what if I charge, what if I'm selling it for $10,000? My final value fee is $350 exactly. And if I try to go to $11,000, it stays at $350. This is the maximum final value fee that I can be charged. So it will not allow the final value fee to go past this number, $350. Okay, so whatever number you put here, this is the most it will charge you. All right, which is the way it is. Okay, the final value fee, yes, it is 3.5% of your payment, but there's a maximum of $350. So there's a certain point where this fee does not go up. Okay, and this is basically how the calculator works. It's just a matter of plugging the numbers in, and when you're ready to start with a new calculation, you click the reset button at the bottom. That will reset the calculator. There's a link in the description of this video that will take you straight to this calculator. It is an online calculator on my website, so of course it's free and open for use. Do bookmark it so you can get back to it quickly and easily when you need it. I hope you find it useful. Please check out any other links I have below this video that might be useful. On this page actually, and in the video, there may be a link, for instance, to an Excel sheet where you can actually list all of your products, and I have these same formulas operating where it will calculate the profit that you will receive on all of the products you have in your store, so you can list all your products and calculate the profits for all your products. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. See you in the next video.